Welcome back. So today we'll be doing the times table. I'll be explaining it to the whiteboard, but let me show you an example. There you go. So this is what we're going to do today. It shouldn't be too long. It's pretty fun and easy to do. Alright, so let me go to the whiteboard. So we have our sketch right here. We will define a certain number of circle points, right? So I'll call this CP for circle points. And let's say for the moment it's 10, right? So let me do this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so we have 10 points right here in a circle formation. So this algorithm is basically going through every point. So for point 1, we're going to start where it is. So in this case, let me change the color. So in this case, we're starting from here. And then we need a multiplicator, right? So we'll do M for multiplicator. Let's call it 2, right? So we'll have a line that goes from this point to, and this point we get from mapping the I, or the index of the point, to a range between 0 and 2 pi, right? Right. So this gives us the basically the position of the point. Well, this gives us the angle for that specific point. Then we can get the x and y by simply doing the cosine of this angle. Let's call it A, times its radius, and the sine of the angle time, again, its radius, right? So this is how we get this specific point. This would be index 0, 1, 2, so on and so forth, right? So we do this for all the points to start with. We get the points visualized. Then, so we know that P1, we have, let's say, x, whatever, we have this point, right? And then what we can do is that we know that P1 index is 1, right? Is 0, sorry, it's 0. Well, 0, there. Then what we use our mult to do is we multiply by our mult, right? So in our case, we multiply by 2. Let me erase this. We multiply the index by 2. That will give us a new index. In this case, it's the same. So we don't do much. It would be a line from this point to the same point, basically. But let's go to P2 and so on, right? So let's do it, right? So P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, P7, so on. We'll do it for those. Right, so here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And they're all times 2 to get the new index, right? The index of the point we want to get to. So in this case, but there's one small catch. We'll get there. So in this case, 1 times 2 is 2. So we go from point 1 and we go to the point 2, right? Index 2, right? So we do this. So we do a line from here to here. Okay, cool. Now, point 3. Yeah, didn't do, well, point index 2 times 2, 4. So we go to the fourth one. So this was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, great. So we go from 2 to 4. Then for index 3, we go to 6, right? So from 3 to 6. There. So on and so forth. So 4, index 4 times 2, it's 8. So we go from 4 to 8. I'll just pass through. Well, it's not straight lines, but that's fine. Okay, and then this one. This is the one that will cause us issues, right? So 5 times 2 is 10. But that's an issue because we only have 9 indices. Well, up to 9. So what we want to do is mod this value by the total number of, like the max number of points. In our case, it's 10. So 10 modulus 10, this equals 0. So we go from 5 to 0. There. And then let's do this for this one. So 6 times 2, it's 12. And then modulus 10. So it enters 1 time, rest is 2, so it's 2. So here, we go from here. And we do this for as many points as we have. Let's do it for the other ones as well. So P8 and P9. And we will start already to see the structure. So we have index 7, index 8, and index 9. Times 2, times 2, times 2. Right, so this equals 14, we do modulus, the rest is 4. We do 8 times 2, 16, rest is 6. We do 9 times 2, 18, the rest is 8. Right, so for index 7, we go to 4. So here to here. And then from index 8, we go to 6. So over here. Right? And then from index 9, we go to 8. There we go. So you can already see the pattern where the lines are basically symmetrical, right? I mean, it's not because it's my drawing, but you get what I'm saying. So we'll try to do this. We'll try to make the multiplicator modulable so we can change it so it's not necessarily times 2. Here we really don't want to forget this modulus operator. And the amount of coins should be also modulable. And this is basically just to get the points position. So yeah. So to start with, let's do the setup function. Awesome. We'll have a size this time. So let's do size 600, or yeah, I mean, it's fine, 600, okay, cool. We will need a radius, so radius, something smaller than 600 for sure. So let's do, I don't know, let's do smaller than the half of 600, so let's do 250. What else we'll need? We'll need the molt. I'll call this molt, but you can call this multiplicator or anything like that. We'll need the amount of point amount. Let's say 10 to start with, same thing that we did. What else do we need? Let me think. I think that's pretty much it. So, all right, let's get started. So we'll start by drawing a background. I'll do the same as on the whiteboard, so I'll do white as the background. Then I said blue and orange. Okay. So let's do the for loop for drawing just the points, right? Is equal to 0 as long as I is less than our point amount. Then I plus plus. Awesome. So now what else? We want to get the angle, that's what we said. So it's going to be a float angle. It's going to be equal on the mapping that we said earlier from I to, that goes from 0 to point amount to 0 and 2 pi. This is basically radiant angles. So a full circle is 2 pi, the angle is 2 pi, and so 360 in degrees would be 2 pi, 180 would be pi, a 90-degree angle would be half pi, right? So on and so forth. So we will need to get the x of our point, which will just be the cos of the angle that we just found, times the radius, and the y, which is basically going to be the same, but using the sin. Awesome. So now let's just draw our points. So stroke, and we had blue, so let me do blue. Well, I cannot pass blue, so let me do a little bit of red, a little bit more green, and a lot of blue, right? Okay, great. So that's should be blue. Let's do stroke weight, a bit bigger than 1, and then let's just draw some points, right? Points at x and y. Awesome. Let's save this. Let's see it. Okay. Okay, yeah, so that's working. I'm just going to put this at 10, just so it's easier for us to see. Okay, great. Though right now they're basing themselves on the 0, 0 index. So we'll just translate everything to width divided by 2 and the height divided by 2. Awesome. So now that we have this, we need to do our lines, right? So let's do those. So we know the first point, like the first where the lines start will be our point, our current point. And then we said we need to calculate another point, right? So I'll just copy this. Let's place it here. I'm going to do angle 1 as well. There we go. This will be 2, 2, angle 2, angle 2. And instead of I, we need to calculate, like we said, the other index. So J, let's call it. And let me go back to whiteboard. So here, on the right, on the left, you can see it. So it's index, so I times the multiplicator, and then we need to do the operation in it. So we need to do the modulus operation on that result. So let's do this. So we said the index times the mult, and we need the modulus based on the amount of point, right? And I will make sure that this is done beforehand, before the modulus operation. Awesome. So, and then we just have to pass J in here. Awesome. I think we're pretty much done. So now let's do the same thing as this. Whoa. But this time, wait. This time I'm going to make it orange. So orange. I don't know my colors that well. I know it's lots of white, lots of red.
bit of green and a bit more green. No, 90 was fine. And some blue. Well, I guess it'll be that color. Let's do 150. 150. 140. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's fine. And we need another point, but a line we said from x1, y1 to x2, y2. Awesome. And here, point from x1, y1. Let's save, let's try it. There we go. So we pretty much have our, which we draw on the board. Right now it's tilted on the screen, just because I started from the top being my zeroth point, but the zeroth point in this case would be the right one. So, but we see the same pattern as on the whiteboard that we saw earlier. I mean, I can just rotate it so that it's exactly the same. So rotate by 90 degrees, which we said it's half of pi. I need to rotate it the other way around, so minus 90 degrees. There we go. So this is exactly what we have on the board. Awesome, great. So what if we were to add a lot more points, right? So let me just up this value just so it's more orange. Okay, yeah, it's getting there, it's getting there. Let me do 200. Great, okay, I wasn't that off, that's good. Okay, so let's do this. We just need it to be, so we're pretty much done. We are done actually. Let me just bump up the amount of points. This is fine, this is fine. Let's see it. I mean, it's difficult to see, right? What we might want to do, we might want to not draw the points, draw the lines, but with a little bit smaller weight. There. So that's pretty much it, right? What we could do to make it more fun, I guess, is we could take all of this, put it in the draw loop. So void draw. And we can make the value changes, right? So we could have point amount, we could have, let's say, the mult change every time through draw, and we can maybe set, in this case, the frame rate to something a bit smaller just so that we can see it change. So let's see this. So every second it should change the multiplicator by 1, right? So this is the kind of patterns we can get. We can up that to 10 maybe. There we go, right? So we're going to see a lot of different patterns. We could bump up the amount of points, right? So maybe instead of 200, we want 1000 points, right? It's a bit difficult to see, so what I'm suggesting is that we have an alpha value. Maybe the alpha could be like 20, so it's on a 255 base. And in here, whenever we define the stroke, we can pass a fourth argument for the alpha value. There you go. And that's pretty much it. So you can play with it, have fun with it, change the colors, make something else change while in the draw loop. Maybe map it to the mouse position, right? Which multiplicator you're going to use. Yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Hope you enjoyed this video and see you in the next one. Thanks.